Good afternoon, guys. I was just talking and I could feel the presence of God coming on again with something that he wants to say. And so I'm coming live and here we go. And it's about you do the praying and he'll do the saving. And I was talking with Cindy and I just said, oh my gosh, here comes another one because he's really starting to show me things. And this is it. Don't preach it to people. Like with people you live with, your spouse, your loved ones, even your neighbors, don't preach to death. What the Lord said is, don't take my job from me. God says, you do the praying and I do the saving. And then he says this, and he had a word like this, I don't know how long ago, a couple times. But what he said, live it in front of them. Be on the front lines. When you're on the front lines in a battle, you are in major battle. You are at the worst of it, right? Living with someone who's not saved, or living or being at a place of a job where you have to work with people who are not saved, is the biggest battle of any Christian, because you're living it on a daily basis. You're constantly at battle with it. You're constantly trying to be that example or whatever, or say something about God. What do I say, God? How do I reach these people? And you go to praying. And the Lord said, when you go to preaching, hello, Christina, when you go to preaching at them, you're taking his job, unless the Holy Spirit leads you to say a certain thing. And when he does, when the Lord shows you what to say and when, it's going to be when their heart is ready. Okay? It's only going to be when their heart is ready to receive. Otherwise, you're out of sync with the Lord. And what God is saying is, if you don't preach, don't go at them, but live it in front of them. He said, be the example of my grace. Be the example of my mercy and my love. And he said, because when you try to save somebody, you're coming from a place of a man's eye. You're looking at them through man's eyes. You're looking at them from their actions. Okay, so you're looking at the person's actions, and this is what you're judging it by. And you will speak like a man speaks, and you will think like a man thinks. And when you do that, you will follow it up. Because God reads the heart of the man, not his actions. Yes, he sees the actions. He sees the sin. He sees all of it. He sees the sin in all of us. But what he does is he reads the heart. We are incapable of reading the heart of the person. So how can we know when their heart is ready? How can we know what they really are about, what they're really thinking? Their actions may not be lining up to what's truly in their heart, but they're reacting to situations in their lives. Like I talked about this morning, you might be the kind of person that when you come home and your day's been full of stress and pretty soon you find yourself attacking your family. It's not that you're a mean person. You're reacting to the stress and you're reacting to the frustration. So when we react and we're not careful what we say, and we're like, God doesn't like it when you do that. You need to stop doing this, and you need to get right, and it comes across critical because we're not reading the heart. We're reacting to the actions. We're reacting to how they act and things we see. God reacts to the heart, and God knows when the time is right and the heart is ready. And the living it in front of them is the best witness of all, because they're going to see the mercy and grace and true love of God. And when we mess up, it's still the best example of all by going to them saying, I'm sorry, I messed up. I shouldn't have spoken like that to you. I'm sorry, I lost my temper. Will you forgive me for saying this or doing that? They see not only do you show God's love, but when you mess up, you're willing to be humble and ask for forgiveness. And you are willing to forgive, okay? So I just thought I'll come on real quick, Lord, because I could feel the Spirit coming on to move. You do the praying. You pray and you fast and you live it in front of him and let God do the changing of the heart as only he can. Let him decide when the time is right for someone to speak. He'll bring the person to do it and he'll tell them what to say when their heart is ready, okay? So remember that. Live it in front of them. Show the love of God. Be willing to admit fault. Be willing to say you're sorry. Be willing to be everything God asked us to be. Be willing to fast and pray. That's powerful. And don't pray against them. Pray for them. God, would you bless them? Would you show them how much you love them? Would you help me to be a better example and a light to them? God, would you help me to be merciful and gracious to them? Would you help them to see that they're still a good person even if they've made mistakes? God, would you bring them to a higher level in you if they're a Christian? You see what I'm saying? Speak life over them. Speak prophetically positive over them. Okay? And live it in front of them the best you can. I love you guys. Gonna try again. I'm struggling, but God be willing, I'll get more and more done. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.